May is my birthday month. I'm gonna be 41 years old, so I am looking forward to treating myself to some fantastic RPGs. Hi there, this is David, and today I'm gonna be going over all the RPGs being released in this month of May. So let's go ahead and get rolling in release order. First up, we have Ravenlock, released for the Xbox and PC on May the 4th. This one came out of nowhere to me, but the more that I look at it, the cooler it seems. It's the grand finale to the Cocoa Cucumber Voxel trilogy, and it's by the creators of the critically acclaimed adventure Echo Generation. With its fairy tale-like graphics and action-based combat system where you battle against your foes in real time, armed only with your trusty sword and shield, magical skills, and arsenal of bombs, it looks to be pretty smooth, fluid, and fun. And the world itself reminds me a lot of creepy fairy tales. Maybe things like, The Nightmare Before Christmas, or even Alice in Wonderland. And while this one did kind of hit me out of the blue, I'm looking forward to it now. Number 2, Darkest Dungeon 2, released for the PC on May the 8th, it's exiting early access. I'm going to level with y'all. I've never played the first Darkest Dungeon. In fact, I've never even heard of it until I saw this being released. But after doing some research, I found that the first game is probably much better than the second. Apparently, the first one gave you a massive open campaign that lasted 100 hours, whereas this one is a short, tight campaign that lasts maybe 20 or so. But a short game can still be a good game. The cartoony graphics look nice, the combat's turn-based, and you're literally traveling through hell. So while something like this isn't exactly my cup of tea, if you enjoy that darker side of RPGs, maybe you'll like this. And hey y'all, if you're liking this video too, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for some more great content. And now, for number 3, Dokapon Kingdom Connect, released for the Nintendo Switch on May 9th. Does this game sound familiar? It did to me, and that's because it was originally released back on the Nintendo Wii and the PS2. But now it's getting an upgraded port over on the Switch, where you can play against your friends in the Nintendo Online service. Though it does seem that some censorship has been added to this port, unfortunately. This is essentially one of those board game games, but there are 5 different game modes that you can actually play. There's normal, story, shopping race, kill race, and town race. And not only that, there are 11 different job classes that you can choose from for added replayability. Number 4, Ys 9, Monsters from Knox, to be released on the PS5 on May 9th in North America and May 12th in Europe. As you might know, this was previously released over on the PS4, and if you have that version, you can play it on your PS5, but now it's being released for real on Sony's most recent system. And if you haven't played this yet, you need to get on it, because you're going to only be doing yourself a massive disservice by skipping it. While most of the Ys games focus on Adolf's teenage adventures, this one instead focuses on his life as an adult, where he's trapped in a prison city, which he explores with the help of gifts, which allow him to roam straight up walls, hover, have x-ray vision, and warp around. You really begin to feel like a superhero, discovering different areas of the city and the prison. It's more like an action platformer that you would see in something like Spider-Man instead of an RPG, so it is a refreshing take on the old Ys formula. Number 5, Fuga, Melodies of Steel 2, to be released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox, Switch, and PC on May 11th. When the first game came out a couple years back, I really didn't know what to think of it. I knew that it took place in the Tail Concerto world, so I was intrigued, and I picked it up, only to find one of the biggest hidden gems of our time. So now, instead of just being kind of curious and intrigued, I am full-blown excited about this sequel. It takes place just a scant few years after the original game, when half the crew has become trapped on the Tyrannus, and it goes on a rampage, destroying everything in its path. So it's up to the rest of the children to climb on board the Tarascus, give chase, and rescue their doggy and kitty pals. Number 6, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, to be released for the Nintendo Switch on May 12th. Yeah, it's not an RPG, but it's noteworthy, so I figured that I would include it here. Zelda and I do have a long and tumultuous history, and I pretty much kind of love them or I hate them. And it might be blasphemous to some of you, but I hated Breath of the Wild, and this one doesn't seem to be doing anything to change my mind. It kinda seems like a mishmash of the first game and Skyward Sword, but with the addition of building vehicles and crafting breakable weapons. Unfortunately though, I didn't like Skyward Sword either, so this old man will probably just pass on it, yell at some clouds, and wait patiently for a remake of Oracle of Ages and Seasons instead. Number 7. Monster Menu, The Scavenger's Cookbook, to be released for the PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch on May 23rd. This one's a bit of a strange bird. It's a dungeon survival strategy RPG where you collect ingredients and materials while you dungeon crawl and beat up monsters. The goal is to grab ingredients and prepare meals, which will allow you to survive long enough to find your way up to the surface. The story is basically that you enter some sort of like noob dungeon, but it turns out that it's not very noob friendly after all, because you become lost and you become in danger of dying of hunger and thirst. So you have to make your way to the exit before you succumb to starvation. Eating those rations will strengthen your characters, and conversely, monsters can be weakened with rotten food. It's kind of a funny little take on the RPG genre here. Number 8. Miasma Chronicles, released for the PS5, Xbox, and PC on May 23rd. Something like this isn't really my speed, but I am here to present all the RPGs coming out in May, so here I am. This is from the creators of Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, and it combines real-time exploration with tactical turn-based combat. Taking place in a post-apocalyptic America that's been torn apart by a miasma, you play as... wait for it. Elvis. Yeah, Elvis. But unfortunately, you're not the rock and roll legend, you're just some chosen child abandoned by your family and given a mysterious glove which allows you to control the miasma, and of course, save the world. Number 9. The Caligula Effect Overdose, released for the PS5 on May 30th in North America and June the 2nd in Europe. If this sounds familiar to you, that's because it's a remake of the original game first released back on the PlayStation Vita, then remade for the PC, PS4, and Switch in 2019, but now that remake is finally getting a PS5 release. The premise is kind of neat. You live in Mobius, a sort of false paradise that only exists to let people escape the pain of reality. And here, you relive the best years of your life, which obviously, according to everybody in Japan, is high school. Even though, for me, those were some pretty shitty years, but whatever, it's Japan. And now, it's up to you to escape this prefabricated fantasy and return to reality. This remake has new gameplay, new endings, and its very own new route. So if this sounds intriguing to you, be sure to pick it up. And finally, number 10, Wrestle Quest, released for the PS4, PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And now, for the strangest RPG on this list, but oddly enough, my most anticipated one too. Wrestle Quest is an RPG that's been in development for quite a bit of time now. I remember first reporting on this like over a year ago because it was just so weird. You play as an up-and-coming pro wrestler, and you explore worlds based upon the careers of people like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Andre the Giant. It's set in a beautifully crafted pixel universe where professional wrestling and RPG fantasy collide. And I, for one, cannot wait to pick this up and see what it's all about. So do expect a review from me about this one. So, that's it for all the RPGs being released in May. Which titles are you most excited for and why? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and want to cheer on the channel, please consider following me over on Twitter, supporting me on Patreon for exclusive videos and early access to my content, heading on over to Twitch for some streaming fun, or coming on over to my Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them all can be found in the video description. This has been David, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.